So when you kind of digest not only the last game, but the prior 4, where does this need to turn around? Or the prior 3, I should say. What needs to be better?
I think collectively we have to be better defensively. Paint always talks about offense is one of those things that comes and goes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you got to scheme for it. You got to be better offensively, but we just can't give up. I mean, we're at 15 points going in halftime versus IU, something like that, and then they win by 15 points. So it's just a surprising number. You just don't see that happen a lot. So defensively, we just have to be better.
What's been the coach's message?
Rewatch that second half.
Some of the what?
What was the vibe when you guys rewatched that second half?
It was just kind of like a snowball type of thing. We had a lot of turnovers. Then it's a rival game. You get their crowd into it, and then I think it's just a combination of things that just snowballed from there. So,
what's been the coach's message during these last couple of days, if there's been one?
I think the coach's message is just when we do our job, we're successful. When we don't, we're not. Yeah.
How much does foul trouble in the last few games kind of exaggerate the defensive issues for you?
It's difficult. I mean, I'd say last game I think I had 1 foul going into halftime, and then I picked up 4 the second half. But I mean, it does it makes it a lot more difficult because sorry, I don't know what's playing back there. It's hard to think. Because, those are your 2 biggest guys, and we already, it's not like we have a 7-footer down that's protecting the rim, so it's already difficult enough as it is. So it makes it very difficult.
Were there changes in the last 4 games, defensive scheme-wise? It sounds like there might have been, I'm not really sure.
For sure, but there's also, we play different teams too, so different teams do different things, and we, scout based on the team. But I think from a coaching standpoint, no, they've worked really hard to scheme and try to play everybody to their advantages on the defensive side.
Did Painter have one-on-one meetings with all you guys or anything like that?
Yes, he did. So it was just one of those things where he wanted to. I think it's an encouraging thing. He wanted to obviously encourage us from what we're doing, but also talk about look at the film, and the film doesn't lie. So.
Did he have a specific message for you or anything like that?
For me, I think it's especially in drop coverage, trying to be just a little bit more active, and then just consistently doing my job. Obviously, last game wasn't one of my, it was probably one of my worst games of the season. But I just think offensively we're fine. I think it's a lot of team connectiveness things. That's what he, talked to me about. And obviously, like I said, those defensive things. He also talked about, coming off the short roll and, pausing and looking as well as post doubles. So,
have you and kind of the other leaders on this team, have you guys kind of talked or tried to find more leadership or questioned anything, just in terms of where you're taking the other guys?
Yeah, we had a team meeting. We had a team meeting 2 days ago. I scheduled that, and just players only meeting, and just talked about obviously we're, I think as players and even as a staff, we're the lowest we've been in a long time, and needing a win as much as ever. But at the same time, there's a lot of good things that we've seen. I talked about a lot of teams, whether it be in our league or across the country, they don't have those type of meetings. A lot of teams, they lose 4 games, and it's just they walk into the office it's another day. We're expected to win. And so I think part of that is just carrying that on your shoulders and understanding that you're one of the elite programs and that, you have to carry yourself that way. And then the other thing was that, I was telling the guys, I haven't been a part of very many teams like that, where I can look at anybody that I'm throwing the ball to or anybody on our court and I trust. I trust everybody that's out there, not just to make the decisions, but to make shots, to play defense, to do all the little things. I've seen them be so successful. So when you see that and you're there every day, I just hope we can, especially, me, Braden, Fletch, especially, some of the older guys, even Caleb, can install some of that confidence, in the younger guys.
Did you say you called the meeting?
Yeah. No, I called the meeting just because I thought, it would be helpful. And then I gave some of the perspective on I also understand as it is, like, I've probably had, even if Coach Payton, the coaches, the broadest range of like roles as far as being on a Purdue basketball team. Like, I redshirted my first year, rehabbed, played on scout team. Next year, a lot of games I didn't play. I came in when Zach got in foul trouble. Obviously next year I split minutes with Mason depending on the game, and then this year I'm playing the majority of the time. So like that's one of the things that I talked about. Like I understand everybody's situation. I know how it is to come in when, you may have not played last game, and then all of a sudden you get 10 minutes, you're out of rhythm, and you're expected to shoot. Like that's hard.
We talked in the offseason about you prioritizing using your voice more, being a more overt personality from a leadership perspective. Were you starting to find your groove in that regard?
I think so, yeah. I think so. I tried to do it. I wasn't great the second half of IU, but I think the first half I did a better job. Just trying to, like I said, encouraging people, especially when we have those hustle plays. Like I should have been more, like CJ got that steal, I think, to start the game. Like it was our first basket. Like that's a big time play. Like you saw it. I mean, we played Michigan. He gets a steal like that, and then the game's pretty much over. So,
touching on that, being an uplifting personality, being that kind of leader, is that one of the tougher lessons you've had to learn during a lost streak like this?
I mean, for sure, yeah. I mean, leading's easy when you're winning games. So. But yeah, like when you're losing and things aren't going well, just making sure that everybody's holding their head high. And obviously, it doesn't mean you don't go back and work on things, look at film. But I know the guys in this locker room are doing that. Like everybody that plays is really trying, really trying to win the game. So when you have that, and you have confidence in that, then all you can do is making sure they hold their heads up.
Did you notice any sort of change coming out of that meeting? Anything different in practice the last couple of days, or just the vibe?
Yeah, I think yesterday was one of our best practices we've had in a couple months. To be honest with you, I think whether it be the shooting, but just the energy, we're cheering for each other when we got stops. But just the entire practice, I think everybody was uplifting, and we're ready.
What was that just like in terms of different from other types of meetings? I'm assuming you've never had a players meeting before.
I had a player meeting my freshman when I redshirted, and then we have them sporadically, just like maybe goals at the beginning of the year. But I haven't had one of these as far as like what kind of drought, like that type of meeting. But I mean, I think it was good. There's a lot of people that chipped in, even some of the younger guys chipped in, and so it's one of those things where. As a team, everybody's opinion matters. Everybody's voice matters. And so, when you get that feedback, even from the younger guys, I remember Jakar mentioned something like body language. And, like, that's something that, us older guys, like, we have to work on. Like, we have to get better at that. And so, like, just hearing everybody's perspective was really helpful.
Is that giving you a little more excitement heading into this Friday game in front of Mackey? There should be a lot of energy.
No, I'm really excited, to be honest with you. I think this team has, so much left in it, and we have so many good players, and collectively, I think we're really good. And so I'm just excited to have that turnaround. I think we're going to really perform on Friday.
How does a players only meeting get called? Do you just text everybody, say, "Hey, be here at this time"? Do you have to specifically tell the coaches to not come, or just not tell them about it at all? I've always been interested by that.
Yeah, no, we have a team group chat, and so it was just like, hey, like first off, it was, does anybody have class during these times? Because you can't go to somebody's class. But luckily, no one had class during the time, so it's like, hey, let's have a team meeting, and then like this message if you can make it, and everybody liked it. So.
Did you hold it here? Or just
Yeah, it was here. It was just in a locker room. Yeah. Last one we held in Dodge. The house, but we don't have that location anymore. So no, we just held it here.
Who called that one your freshman year?
Isaiah, I believe. Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.